Today, maybe more than any, the Raptors really revealed their true colors that this team just isn't good. And I'm going to explain to you in this post-game show that there are a number of reasons why this was the nail in the coffin on the season. The Raptors lose 128 to 126 tonight to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This should have been a scheduled win. This is a scheduled win. If you take the schedule on the season, you look at everything, this win, you schedule in as a win before you even play, because this was like, how could you lose this game? Going into it, the Raptors have more rest than Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves played a game last night. They played a game that went down to the wire. They played this game away at Denver. High altitude, slow recovery times. They traveled overnight or this morning to get back and play this game at home against the Raptors. Gobert is injured. Karl Anthony Towns is injured. The Raptors had a night off yesterday. The Raptors still lost this game. And it was a game in which the Timberwolves led when it was 19 to 18. And then they didn't lead again until it was 126 to 124 and then 128 to 126. So beyond all of these factors that make this essentially a free win for the Raptors, they also led by almost 20 points they led by more than 10 for long stretch to this game. And in fact, down the stretch led 119-105, but allowed the Timberwolves to go on a 12-2 run. The Raptors led 124 to 116 late in this game and lost to the Timberwolves amidst all of the information that I've just provided. If you're a good basketball team, you don't lose this game. If you're an okay basketball team, you straight up don't lose this game. Amidst all of the great individual performances, you allowed 100 points inside three quarters. Sure, you scored 109, but you allowed 101. This team just is not going anywhere. This is the nail in the coffin on the season. I wanted to wait to the end of that Western Conference road trip, which ends February 5th. I'm already sold. I'm already out because there's been a lot of bad games, but man, oh man, it's clear they can't win this game. It's done, bro. I'm sorry to say. I don't want to be like reactionary. I don't want to be like I'm just overreacting one game. It's been accumulating over time, but this is just the last straw. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back on myself. Going to the stats, you got some great individual performances. Scotty Barnes goes 11 for 15 with 29 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Great. Siakam, unfortunately, you get an off night from him, but 13, 9, and 7. If that's your off night, you're pretty good at basketball. OG had some struggles handling the ball first half, a little bit more subdued second half, but 5 for 11, 15 points. Van Vliet was great yet again. He carried us first half. He had 25 points. He had 10 assists, 2 steals, only 2 turnovers, 7 for 13, 4 for 6 from 3. Gary Trent, inefficient, but gives you 18 points. Achua makes a difference off the bench, giving you 11 points. His defense wasn't great second half, but first half it was. Joe Wieskamp, second 10-day contract, 3 for 3. From 3 in this one. The Raptors shot 53% from the field. They shot 50% from 3, but they lost. And they lose the game because of the play down the stretch. Scotty Barnes started the game 9 for 10, actually 10 for 11 from the field. And then he goes 1 for 4 late in the game. Pascal Siakam misses some shots late. OG has 2 wide open threes yet in the game, including one in the last shot of the game for the Raptors. Wide open. That doesn't even come close. Gary Trent has a good look from 3 late, can't hit. Van Vliet had 1 good layup late, can't hit. What happened in the end? The Raptors couldn't score, and all the passing, all the playmaking that they had been doing earlier in the game from everybody just completely dried up. The ball was moving really well out of Fred Van Vliet's hands early on in the game. Late in the game, the team in general, like I just felt like he wasn't being used as much on offense, even though he was creating so much in the first half. Please, you should have seen the tirade from earlier in the stream. Please do not put this on Van Vliet. I think the team in general was just absolutely not good enough late game situation, moving the ball, creating for other players. And to be honest, things looked a little bit better when Fred VanVleet was getting more involved. But Overall, the team did not pass well enough to end this game. And that is a reason. I mean, that's beyond allow 128 points, but that game was there to win for the Raptors. They have lost their defensive identity and are really trying to lean into an offensive approach. But even in these situations, it's unreliable in the big moments in the late parts of the games. Happened here. It happened 2 nights ago. We piled on points, couldn't get enough stops, couldn't get enough points when it counted. And the Raptors, as a result, suffered from 2 brutal defeats and are 20-26 on the season. The Timberwolves, they got some big nights. Slow-mo goes 8 for 9 with 10 that is bad, man. Edwards piles up points at the line, but he shoots 5 for 16. Just a lot of guys scoring for them, man. Just a lot of guys getting buckets for this team. We got out-possessed in the end slightly. It was sharper earlier, but you shoot 53 and 50 and lose. You out-rebound them as well. Turnovers weren't great, but it was only one more turnover than they had. Same offensive rebounds. Like this, everything here is just showing to me that this should have been a win for the Raptors, but it isn't. It isn't. Everything was there to win this game. Everything was in place. The NBA gods were trying to give you a win, and you couldn't even take it. So, what's worse about all this? The worst thing about everything that I've said here, the worst thing about everything that went wrong here is, as much as I said it was a scheduled win, I'm not surprised they lost. They've done it all year. They've lost games they were supposed to win. There's a game similar to this against the Kings about a month ago now. That one was at home. They led all game and blew it late. Same thing. Exact same game script against the Sacramento Kings from a month ago when the Raptors played at home. If you guys remember that game, exact same game. Those 2 games, this and that, are not of teams that are good. But I've come to expect a thing like this to happen, as much as I called this a scheduled win. So where has it gone wrong? Players clearly have talent. Scotty Barnes was sensational today. Van Vliet had a sensational first half. Gary Trent had his moments. Siakam has been sensational this season, wasn't tonight. OG has had some good moments, maybe some not so great ones tonight. But I don't think every game needs to have one guy you blame. I just think straight up you say the team wasn't good enough down the stretch. Nick Nurse didn't do enough coaching late to get the right plays for this team to win the game. Because even though there were those 2 open threes for OG, there was a lot of bad possession for the Raptors. It was stalemate at 124 for a long period of time. There's a lot of blame on Nurse. There's a lot of blame on the players and the way they played in that game, especially on defense. There's a lot of blame on the front office as well for the roster construction. There's still no rim protector. There's still not enough shooters. We can't provide a little bit of relief there, but you can't point to one thing because so much has gone so bad for this team. And this just, the nail in the coffin, the cherry on top of this season. 46 games in, this team does not deserve reinforcements. This team needs to focus on a draft pick and how it's going to retool for the future. Not a full-scale rebuild required, far from it. But you got to see what sort of value you can get for some of these guys at the deadline, because this is not it. This is not it. The core, the 5 guys, somebody saying in chat here, I'm over the core. The five guys averaging 15 plus, I'm over that. Find the role players to supplement them. The guys you want to build around, mainly Siakam and Barnes. If you want to build on OG, Barnes, sure. But whatever it is, find the role players. Find the guys you want to build around. Find the role players to support them. Find the depth. Find the rim protector. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen this season. It's got to happen by the start of next season. Changes are needed. Changes are needed. I think this might go down as maybe somebody else will take a different game. Maybe somebody will take the game the Raptors start 2 for 30 against the Bucks. Maybe somebody will take that game. But this feels to me like the end of this era. it's sad, but a new era. When one door closes, another one's open. I think a new era should begin here because I'm done with this core. Straight up done with this core. That was bad. I can't overstate how bad that one was. And I think I've said everything I've needed to say here. 2019 feels a long way away, man. Feels long way in the rear view at this point. But there's a foundation here. I know there is. I don't just think it. I know there's a foundation here to build on for success in the future. The front office has their work cut out for them, but I believe they can do it. I've said all that's needed to say. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Again, I'm going on vacation. No streams Saturday or Sunday, so no post-game shows Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to Las Vegas. Going to enjoy a much-needed vacation from this team. I'll be back on Wednesday. After the Sacramento game, we will be back to regular streams, regular post-game shows for a late game as the Raptors do start that West Coast road trip, which I'm not very hopeful for. But thank you guys so much for supporting me on this channel. If you guys have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like before you go. And also subscribe for more Raptors content just like this once I'm back from that vacation.